Hey guys, it's Tuesday, which means that it is time for me to do my weekly video. This week, we are going to talk about coming out stories, as you probably got from Kevin's story that was posted yesterday. I've told my story several times on several different platforms, and it's kind of developed over time because more has happened and I've come out more, and you know, you really are never like fully out. Because you know you're constantly interacting with other people and you're having those moments where you're like, oh, I need to tell that person that I'm gay because everyone's gonna assume that I'm straight when they meet me, unless I'm wearing this like rainbow thing that probably not. I started realizing that I was gay when I was in 8th grade. I was on the school bus and kids started calling me gay. And I didn't really understand what they were referring to, and I knew I'd had thoughts before about it, but I really wasn't like, it wasn't something that I'd like classified as like, oh, okay, like I'm gay. It was more or less like, what is this thing that I'm feeling? I don't know, that's kind of weird. Like there was a little bit of homophobia within me of, I was like, I don't want to be gay, like I don't want to be like that because they're treated differently and just in a bad way, and it was kind of looked upon kind of badly when I was in high school. And so when kids would call me gay, it was always something like, no, I'm not gay. Like I never wanted to be that because that's what the bullies would tell me. That's what, you know, these kids would tell me is that, oh, Jordan's gay. And I don't know, I never wanted to be that because I wanted to be that cool kid. I wanted to be the kid who I could have friends and I could feel like I was included. And I didn't feel like that through a lot of my childhood. I didn't feel like that, especially up until my 8th grade year. And so kids started calling me that, and then one of my other friends told me that her friend was gay, and so we started talking about him, and I had this huge amount of homophobia towards him, and she knew that, and I expressed that to her, and she always tried to explain to me, no, he's just a person, you need to stop acting like you're afraid of him, because you shouldn't be, because he's just a person. And the real reason why I was afraid of him was because I was gay too, and I was like, oh no, I fit what gay means, oh no. And so I was like, I don't want to be different, I don't want to be what those kids are calling me, I don't want to be that. I started going online and going to gay chat rooms and kind of exploring what my sexuality was in my free time. And one night my parents caught me on a gay chat room, and they said to me, what are you doing? Like, why are you on that and everything like that? And I had to have a huge conversation with my parents, and I had to essentially explain to them like, oh no, I was making fun of them because I was calling them gay, which I actually wasn't. I was actually socializing with them and seeing what people like me were like. And that's when when I started to realize that like my dad was going through and like checking my computer and everything like that, I started realizing that, wow, I'm gay. Like I actually am. I can't really hide from this. It's not gonna work, me hiding from this. A couple weeks later, I told my friend, at the time who was my best friend, Daniela, and she was also friends with the other gay guy, and I told her by actually writing down on a note when we were playing Pass the Note game, and I passed it to her, and she opened it up and she looked at it and she was like, oh, she dropped it, and then everybody else in the group was like, what is it? And they grabbed at it, and I'm trying to grab at it like, no, I did not want to tell you guys all. And so then they're all like looking at it like, oh my gosh. And I'm like trying to grab the note out of their hand, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, all these people are finding out about this. This is really like nerve-wracking. And so, of course, Daniela comes over immediately and gives me a huge hug and is like, you know, I really like appreciate you telling me. And she's like, this makes so much more sense. And she goes, I'm really like happy that you told me. And she's like, you're gonna be okay. Like she really was a great first person to come out to because she accepted me full-heartedly for who I was. And all of that group of people were really good too, because all of them pretty much did the exact same thing. They were all very accepting of it. I asked them, I said, please don't tell anybody. Because I said, I want to be the person that tells people if I want them to know. Because some people I did not want to know. A lot of people I didn't want to know. And I was also still in that stage of, if I tell people I'm living in this small town, are my parents gonna find out? Because I hadn't even told them. And so I slowly started telling some more people. Some of my friends reacted in a really positive manner, some of them didn't. Some of them, you know, sounded like they were gonna be supportive and then turned around and started sending me messages at night stating, hey, here's this camp you should maybe go to and look and learn about how, you know, you can become straight again and all this other stuff, and how you can really help with your gayness, conversion camps. And then it comes to the coming out to my parents. So this story is a little bit more interesting. I told my mom when we were driving home one day to our house from something, I don't remember what it was. But fun fact, do not tell your parents when you're in the car. But that's exactly what I did. I told my mom when we were in the car. We were almost home, so that was good. And we kind of like came up this hill, and all of a sudden I was like, I'm gonna tell her. And literally I just said, Mom, I have something to tell you. And I'm really scared to tell you, but I have something to tell you. And I was like, I'm gay. And then I just started crying. And oh my gosh, like it was a mess. It was a mess. Jordan started crying, and my mom was like, oh no, it's okay, like calm down, it's okay. But I was like freaking out. And so she's like, do you want me to tell your dad? And I was like, I don't care, like just a mess. And so finally we get home, and I go downstairs to where my room was, and everybody else was up on the first floor. And I'm downstairs, and I text my best friend, I was just like, I just came out to my mom. My dad's gonna find out soon, apparently, like if I need to come over to your house, I may need to do that. You know, I don't know how the situation's gonna turn out. And so she was like, oh, okay. So my dad comes into my room and says, we need to talk. And I was like, oh, okay. And so at this time I was a sophomore in high school, and my dad sat me down and he was just like, so your mom just told me that you told her that you think that you're gay. And well, I was just kind of curious as to why you think that. And I was like, well, I think that I'm gay because I like guys. My dad's like, okay, well, have you ever done anything with a guy? And I said, no. And he goes, have you ever done anything with a girl? And I said, no. And he goes, okay. He's like, well, you can't really then decide to be gay if you haven't done anything with anybody. He's like, you have to do stuff with a guy and with a girl in order to decide if you're gonna be gay. Which, fun fact, children, that is not true. If your child is telling you that they're gay, don't ask your child, oh, have you had sex? Like that kind of stuff, like no. It was, my dad told me that I need to have sex with a guy and a girl in order to decide. And then my dad proceeded to ask me, he asked if I knew how gay sex worked. And I said to him, I said, I didn't know how to answer that, because how do you answer that to your father of, do you know how sex works? Like, even if I was straight and my father asked me that, I'd be like, this is super awkward. Like, why am I having this conversation with you? Also, he told me too that I couldn't be involved in Boy Scouts anymore, which at the time I was in love with the organization. And it was something that it just was really awkward. And so we didn't really talk about it at all. Too much after that. It was just kind of something that was an elephant in the room. We had a few excursions where my parents, they were super ignorant about it. Nothing influenced me to be gay. I didn't just wake up one day and decide, I'm gonna be gay. I did wake up one day and decide, I'm going to identify this way, because you know what? That kind of fits into what all my thinking has been and what I really kind of feel. That's how it is. And so I went to bed that night. The next morning I woke up and everything was back to normal, just the big huge elephant in the room. And it really wasn't talked about again until I went to, when I was about to go to college. And right before I went to college, my parents started talking to me again about it, and they said, hey, look, you need to kind of watch yourself, because gay people were not accepted when we were in college, so thus you're not going to be accepted when you're there. So you just need to be really careful about who you tell, or else you're going to get beat up and stuff. I didn't have any bad reactions from that. And even throughout college, I've told a lot of people, and I really haven't had any bad interactions. And I think that's what I've come to find, is that as I get older, the more people that I tell, I've not really had any bad interactions with them. Because I've been able to tell them, and I've been able to kind of get to know them too first and figure out who they are. And a lot of people actually have said to me, they've said, wait, you're gay? What? Being me is the most important part about coming out. And being able to be who I am, that's amazing. That's why I love the fact about coming out. That's why I love watching coming out stories and everything like that. Which leads me into my last point. I'm actually going to have a project that's going to come out today. It's called Coming Out Together. It's a brand new YouTube channel that I'm really excited about. This YouTube channel is specifically for people that actually don't have YouTube channels. It's for LGBTQ plus members to go to see coming out stories from people who wouldn't normally have a YouTube channel to tell that story on. And so what I've done is I've created a platform that I can go and record people and say, okay, well I'll edit this down and I'll put it on the channel and everything like that. And people can go to that and they can actually see stories and they can see perspectives of other people. Because coming out stories on YouTube were some of my biggest parts of helping me figure out who I was and help to prepare and stuff like that for coming out to my parents and to my friends. So I really appreciate it if you guys would go and take a look at it. It's called Coming Out Together, or you can also tweet at us at BeOutTogether. If you guys are interested in being part of it, you definitely do not have to live near me in Missouri. You can apply by email. Just go ahead and email me at coming.out.together@gmail.com. If you email me at that link, I can go ahead and set up a time for you and we can work out something to where you guys either record it on your own and you send me the video that you've recorded and I edit it down and post it or something like that. But I would really appreciate if you guys could give that channel some support today and have a wonderful, great National Coming Out Day, and make sure that you hug somebody else that is part of the LGBTQ plus community. And that's pretty much it. I'll see you next Tuesday, and as always, have a gay day.